History has proven to be a great teacher for the human race. We have seen that our ancestors were extremely intelligent, with amazing knowledge on subjects such as astronomy, geometry, mathematics and other important sciences, but they were amazing artists as well. From the construction of the Great Pyramids of Giza to paintings in the Renaissance era and further on, incredible stories have been told that have been difficult to explain. In this article, we focus on some of the most interesting paintings of that period in history as we look at the Baptism of Christ by Albert the Elder, the Madonna with Saint Giovannino, the Annunciation and other very interesting pieces of art that tell incredible stories. The interpretation given to each painting can vary from person to person, but all of these paintings have something in common. They seem to tell the same story. Incredible flying machines appear to be incorporated in the scenery. But who could have possessed the ability to fly at that time in history? Were these flying machines misinterpreted? Are they clouds or angels, or is there something more to them? Are these different authors sending a message in their art? If there is one thing that these paintings are not, that is ordinary. One of the paintings that we find very interesting is the Baptism of Christ by Albert the Elder. Looking at this painting, the first thing that you notice are these strange rays of light that are coming down from a disc-shaped object in the sky. It is one of the most interesting paintings, and according to the ancient alien theory, this painting is a piece of strong evidence which illustrates a disc-shaped flying object. The author of the image painted a circular object. It cannot be confused as a cloud. It appears to have some sort of light at the center, and the rays of light are coming out of this object. You cannot confuse it for thunder or anything else really. We believe that the author painted what he saw at a certain point in his life. If he wanted to paint a cloud or the sun, he would have painted them in a much more effective way. We believe that this painting illustrates a disc-shaped UFO, much like the disc-shaped objects that are reported even today. The Miracle of the Snow by Mussolino de Panicale is another incredible image that we cannot pass by without taking a closer look. This painting was previously known as Dedicatio Sanctae Mariae ad Nieves, Dedication of the Church of Our Lady of the Snows. This painting is very interesting because it illustrates a large number of disc-shaped objects flying in the sky. The first thing that you can think of to explain these objects are clouds, but are they really clouds? Did this author paint all of the clouds at that time, giving them a disc or saucer shape? One of the objects in this painting that drew particular interest is the object to the right just above the building. When you look at it, it shows incredible similarity to some of the modern-day depictions of unidentified flying objects. This object, in our opinion, does not look in any way like a cloud. We have observed several paintings from the Renaissance era and compared artists' techniques when it comes to illustrating clouds, and the work done by Mussolino de Panicale is just impressive, and we ask, why would this artist pick this disc shape? Can we say that in this painting we have several UFOs, or are these just clouds? Disc-shaped clouds. At the Vizahidakandi monastery located in Kosovo, we find another very interesting piece of art, the Crucifixion of Christ. UFOs and ancient art. Crucifixion of Christ. This painting is a very detailed piece of art. We see several different objects that are illustrated around Christ, but after looking at the painting, there are two objects which seem to stand out from the rest of the items on the painting. Located to the left and the right of the painting, they seem to depict two humans that are inside some sort of spaceship. According to modern-day explanations, these objects are placed in the painting to depict the sun and the moon as in other paintings. But why place pilots or a human inside them? Was the artist really trying to illustrate our sun and the moon, or was the artist trying to depict something otherworldly? By observing the left object in the painting, we see that the pilot inside this particular object appears to be manipulating something in front of him. His arms are painted stretched out and reaching for something in front of him. The object to the right shows the figure turning his head to see what's behind him. Are these two objects depictions of UFOs and their crew, or are they simply the artist's way to illustrate the sun and the moon? Another painting that we find extremely interesting is the Annunciation painted by Carlo Crivelli. This artist favored verdant landscape backgrounds, and his works can be identified by his characteristic use of fruits and flowers as decorative motifs. His works were clear and definite in contour, with astounding attention to detail. In his painting The Annunciation, there are several objects that stand out from the rest of this extremely detailed piece of art. First of all, we have a circularly shaped cloud. Inside the cloud, we can see several angels looking outside of the cloud. But what makes this interesting is the ray of light that shines on a pigeon and on Mary's head. Now what we find puzzling is that in this painting Carlo Crivelli painted several other clouds. In fact, the sky is filled with clouds, but he decides to paint this specific disc-shaped cloud with angels and a beam of light. Why paint one specific cloud so different in comparison to the other clouds present in the painting and with a beam of light? From what we have seen in similar paintings, the artists usually paint beams of light descending directly from angels or from the sun, but this is not the case in Carlo Crivelli's painting, in which he paid extreme attention to the details and made sure the public could tell the difference when analyzing this masterpiece. We can also see a person that Carlo Crivelli decided to incorporate in the middle of the painting, which is looking at the sky, at this disc-shaped cloud just below the gate. the Madonna with Saint Giovannino painted in the 15th century. Another painting that can be added to the list of ancient paintings that depict an unidentified flying object. Above Mary's left shoulder we observe a disc-shaped object that appears to be glowing, a UFO. It is an object which the artist depicted in great detail, making sure it would stand out in the painting. To the right of the painting, we see a man that is holding his right arm above his eyes, with which the artist made sure to send a message that this object was very bright. To the left of the image in the upper corner, we can see an object that looks like the sun. This means that the artist painted this disc-shaped object, giving it a shiny detail, and he made sure to illustrate it to the right of the sun, so we know this bright object cannot be confused for the sun. This disc-shaped object does not look like your ordinary cloud, so if it is not the sun nor a cloud, what could it possibly be? Is the Madonna with Saint Giovannino painting an illustration of an otherworldly visitation? The artist considered this object extremely important, otherwise, he would not have placed it nor painted it with such detail as we see here.